of 3 so far for first bands, and we only saw one game so far of Tempest with first band. It was game 1. Their previous series, they won all 3 games of the second. So we could definitely see the Vala, Trinity used here. Maybe Kerrigan comes out again. These are map-specific drafts that we see on Infernal Shrines.
Maybe we'll see Honkono get to be on Kerrigan for the first time. He was always with Dami, so he could not really show off his Kerrigan play. I know he does play Kerrigan a lot because I watch his stream sometimes too, but let's see. Sometimes H82 can also be in Zeratul. There are lots of comfort picks for themselves. Let's get into Infernal Shrines.
First ban Raven. Banned Uther in game number 2. In game number 1, banned the Anubarak. That will be what they choose yet again here.
Even when they took Anubarak, the timing of the CCs often missed, and also the timing of the cocoon uses was a little bit off. So banning that off so Tempest does not get to take it.
Uther first pick with the Genji ban. So this is pretty standard so far. This would be the first time they prioritize Uther over Anubarak. It was reversed in the previous set. And already, as we talked about, the Vala Ariel composition is already starting here for Tempest. When this is left available, they're willing to take it.
And I can also smell Gul'dan coming along. That's also a very powerful weapon that Lockdown has been using in Infernal Shrine sometimes. But with Vala, maybe they don't even need it. They can just go with Li Ming instead. And losing Valaria already. Raven, they need to have a very strong, sturdy front line. Maybe grabbing Arthas right off. Or Johanna even have that wave clear in the shrine. And also canceling out, giving blind to Vala. Removes a lot of the damage that comes out.
Well, they're giving it a lot of thought here. Morale definitely not on the highest stage here for Raven right now, as they struggled so much. It's going to be the Zeratul pick coming in with Tyrael. I knew that Tyrael was definitely a likely choice to remove that protection away from the Vala. Pairing it even with the melee here, so we have 2 potential sources of invulnerability on the side of Raven. So for bans for Tempest, they want to remove the Grey main because he is the top tier DPS next to Val that will pair with this combo, the Uther and the Tyrael. So he is removed, no shocker.
With Zeratul, Tyrael already picked out lots of game-changing heroics with Void Prison and Sanctification available for Raven.
This should be an easy Tassadar ban, you would think.
That's the easy ban. But if they have to go around, though, they can go for the tank. Okay, they are going for the easy Tassadar ban.
So now you're looking for the secondary support here for Ariel. Uther's the best option, but unfortunately is taken away. So I wonder how Tempest will approach this. We've seen Zarya used on this map in the past to help protect the Vala. Maybe that's what Honkono's raising his fist saying he can play here. But we may just see them move away from this Vala Ariel all in and move into the Gul'dan, as you were saying. So that leaves Honkono on the Vala, and then you have Gul'dan to be played by Lockdown. You have 2 great sources of hope, so you get the extra healing. You have a more rounded composition in terms of DPS. And you grab a strong tank with this. Okay, we have seen the Stitches work with the Tainment Strike on this map and on Battlefield of Eternity just earlier this evening. Time's ticking. Will be the Dahaka and Arthas. So saving potentially the second DPS and maybe a Gul'dan or the secondary support for the last pick. That's how you draft when you want to have that 5th pick open, leave for flexibility. You take the more obvious picks first, and then you can leave flexibility to respond to the last picks of your opponent's side.
That's exactly how you do it as a second pick. You get to leave the 5th pick open so you can respond after you watching the entire comp of Raven. Because of course 1 pick can change everything in the draft. Already picking Vala, Ariel, I think they're very safe. Gul'dan, as we mentioned before, or even Li Ming, as they were hovering in the ban phase for a second. They have solid front lines, the CCs, the global. This is a very, very balanced draft already coming out from Tempest. Raven can still make it happen, you know. They have Zero to Ulteria, Uther, but they need damage. Sergeant Hammer is out of the meta right now. Who do you have? Who do you go for?
Asmodan, of course.
Tychus is also okay, I guess.
Tychus is really decent here.
There
They're
we
going to
go.
grab Falstad too for the global. This is a solid draft. They've got the ability to split push with Falstad. Zeratul and Tychus can help clear caps quickly, so they can bring the pressure on the opposite side of the map when the Punisher Shrine is announced. So will we see the Gul'dan here? Very risky against the Zeratul. They already only have the one support for Vala. Or will we see a secondary support? Not a whole lot of secondary supports available that we've seen in the meta. Like Malfurion, not really going to be a solid choice here. We have seen Tyrande used in situations like this, not really in Korea, not really in this meta, but definitely an option. Brightwing, you get the global with the extra protection. I think it's probably going to be a secondary DPS though.
Yeah. Maybe
something even like a Nazebo. The Gul'dan's still a good pick. Maybe Lunara as well, not a bad choice. Alarak!
Even more damage. They want to put in
melee.
burst damage now. Wow, their front line. Raven will have a hard time, especially Falstad, if he gets into the silence after the telekinesis. That chicken will be gone.
Gonna get roasted. The draft of Raven, pretty all-around strong draft. Feels more like Phase 1 meta where you have the global in Falstad, you've got good wave clear, good DPS in Tychus. I have to say, overall, I kind of like the draft of Raven more, but Tempest, will they make this Alarak pick work? We're going to find out right now in what could be our last game of the night on Infernal Shrines. In blue, Tempest, Honkono on Vala, Hyde on Ariel, Dahaka being played by H82, Sign on Arthas, and Lockdown on Alarak.
And in red, Raven, Darvish on Falstad, Hamlin on Zeratul, NMX on Tychus, Diong on Tyrael, and Chom on Uther.
He's a marksman, Falstad, no surprise here. For Falstad, for level 1. Everything else pretty normal. For the upgrade to the E for Alarak at level 1. There's the telekinesis onto NMX, no follow-up. Will we see the Howling Blast? Not this time. The dive is real onto Honkono. Not able to auto-attack to build hope. Finally does here in the end after getting that first initial burst heal. And it will be first blood to the side of Tempest. Sign surviving there with his Q through the Tyrael explosion. So pretty quick first blood, sub 1 minute. And Raven, really, when you look at the series as a whole, they're up against a team that made 4th place last season. They were favored to take 3rd. They lost to Mighty in the end. But still, one of the top tier teams that took your best player. Definitely feels emotional, feels frustrating. When not only did you lose games number 1 in dominant fashion, you get 1 and 2 you lost in dominant fashion, Zeratul dies off screen somehow, but you're also lost 2 games of game 2.
Well, takes down Honkono though, NMX gets very low. It seems like he will also go down before Alarak even comes into the fight. That's a 2 for 1.
So you lost game number 2 basically twice. You were crushed in the first version. PC problems caused the reset. The second game was even more one-sided. And keeping morale high in a situation like this for a team that, for most of its members, don't have a ton of Heroes of the Storm experience. They have Phase 1, but many of the members of Tempest have played on international stages, have won international titles. It's tough to keep yourself composed in a situation like this. When you're in what could be the final game of the map, it's the final map of the series. And it's the last match of the week. You've been preparing all week for this. It didn't go as planned. See if they can turn it around, G-Clef, but
good
feels
eyes
rough.
coming out from lockdown. He spots Zeratul standing right there. Wants to get that silence. Even Zeratul has to be careful after the blink. Seems like lockdown wants to bring in Zeratul after the blink. There's a silence. Not enough damage. Actually gets a lot of damage onto Sign from NMX. Good trade onto both frontliners.
A lot of split soak coming in for Falstad in the mid lane, but Dahaka is doing just the same, if not more, in the bot lane. Already working on that keep wall. Looks like Falstad's going to rotate up first. Uther had to back because he got super low there on mana, so he's not there. So it's going to be a win here for the first wave of defenders on the Shrine. Falstad's still soaking bot now as we see Dahaka move mid. He's going to clear up and get this extra free EXP. So they get the EXP lead and they get the first Punisher, barring some sort of weird rotation from Raven. I mean, it's just definitely, it's impossible now. 32 of 40.
I think
they're going to get the neutral cap though.
Yeah, I think they're being safe, and rather than just contesting for the Shrine, which they think it's going to be very hard in terms of sustain, because sustain against Vala, Ariel, and all that, and you have Uther on your side. Your cooldown on your healing is so long, so rather to fight and contest for Shrine, which seems very hard, taking the cam and go for the rotational seems like a very smart decision by Raven right now.
Well, gonna get this first top fort very low. We'll get the sentry tower as well. But it is going to be the overall defense here. Not the craziest, most successful Punisher we've ever seen.
Ooh, Zeratul's on the other side. Can you actually...
Let's
see the journey.
He's I think he's going to get away. He's not rooted. He's at full health based on the UI, so HA2 doesn't go up to try to chase him or anything. Just dove deep there, perhaps getting some scouting done. They are going to look to try to invade this, though. But against the Vala-Ariel duo, will they find success? The Detainment Strike immediately. Hyde still goes down, but you got to respect that level of reaction. Lockdown's going to get caught here, too. That's a great way to bring yourself right back into the game. Smart invade, good decision-making. Zeratul was following Arthas around the entire time. They had vision. They knew this was going on. Very well played.
Exactly what they need to do. The first time they have EXP lead over Tempest, they need to snowball this right now and keep this momentum going. And after 7, Darvish also have wave clear. You saw the shot call. Even Falstad came right in just in case it breaks into a big team fight. The shot calling seems to be on point. Raven has to snowball right now.
A little bit of harass coming in here for Hamlin. Risky play, but we'll get away with it. And we're seeing Alarak go into building into his Q, his big silence coming across for levels 4 and 7 for the extra damage. And, you know, I want to say the coordination for the Alarak play has not been that great for Tempest this game. We've seen a few attempted chains with the telekinesis going into the root or the tongue grab. That mostly hasn't been too successful. So the Shrine has started. We are going to see that and be activated now. It's in the bot lane where Tempest has control. They are pushing. Big rotation coming down here for Raven, though, to try to punish this. Once again, Hyde is the target. Hamlin goes in, gets the kill. Very aggressive positioning here. I want to say careless on the side of Tempest. We do see the Divine Shield coming over as 10 is reached. Hamlin is protected. He lives through all the damage. Sanctification allows him to come back in and get another heal. And that's going to be the 6-3 score now for Raven. Tempest still doesn't have the 10.
Exactly how you should. Team fighting and getting that one kill, hit level 10, and Hamlin made a big play to just blink in, use that mobile play just to make sure they don't escape from the fight. So they got more kills off of that. Having Odin stalled lots of times, exactly how you have a team fight with this kind of team comp.
Oh, here's the stun going on to Darvish. Does get the barrel roll over the wall, close call there. Raven will still, of course, gain this Punisher. It's an arcane Punisher, which is nice for them, continuing the momentum you've been talking about. Feels like they've definitely got the momentum on their side and the morale is higher. They're making coordinated picks. It's really been Hamlin who's been the MVP, looking for the kills onto Hyde. when he's overextending. Using the Vorpal Blade to secure that kill, having the vision, having the spot, making the shout call to go into that invade where they were able to steal the camp in that last team fight that they won. These are the things that Hamlin is doing that are giving Raven a good shot at coming back in this series.
Raven Science taking tons of damage. He may actually go down, gets super healed though from Ariel. And they do have 10, lots of heroics already used. Tonkono just dropping the rain.
Big gust.
For the disengage.
Well, I think trying to isolate Sign there potentially. Able to capitalize on it though. He is somewhat isolated as Honkono gets the solo kill onto Tyrael. And this is going to be Raven now backing away. Got the entire fort, so they take a big structural lead from this. And they're looking to take that level 13 talent tier advantage.
Yeah, they are still leading it, and Darvish came in at the right moment for the disengage. And I'm not sure what happened to Tyrael. I guess she was trying to leave the scene, and Vala caught onto him and got the kill at the very end.
Well, regardless, Raven still maintains that lead now. And it looks like it's going to be the battle of the globals on the top lane now. Big rotation up, though, and Raven does not have vision of this. Darvish, if he stays, okay, there's a danger ping going down. Oh, but he doesn't listen, and he's going to get caught here. There's a telekinesis into the silence. No barrel roll. Well, that silence is active, and Darvish will get taken out. You saw the ping there. I think it was an assist ping, but they definitely meant to say, danger, warning, we don't have vision. We're taking our siege camp in the bot lane. We don't know where they are. Still didn't heed the ping and gets punished for it.
And Hamlin had to use Vocal Blade. Void Prison for himself being too aggressive there. And he knew, as soon as he got some hits from Vala, he knew that he had to back off. They were supposed to really, they were looking for the kill, but the coordination, the positioning of his teammates were a little bit off. He was a little bit rushed going in, ended up using his own heroic there. That's another cooldown of 67 seconds.
Yeah, well, gotta take what you can to survive. Coming over here, Sign is potentially gonna grab the root. Ooh, misses it though. Hamlin should be able to get out of here. He's got Blink available. The idea is to get the silence to pair those together. Volstate getting a lot of free soak bot. Raven still stays up an entire level in EXP right now. But they, the top push too is not dealt with here by Tempest. They're losing EXP there. They might even lose that fort actually. So Raven having the better usage of global here with Volstad, which is actually unusual. Most Korean teams are highly prioritizing the Dahaka over the Volstad for globals. And Darvish is going to go all the way down to this keep wall.
That's right. They know that Tempest wants to fight. They are starting on the shrine, so there is no way for him to actually... He can just keep on soaking here. There is no reason for him to go fight and die from all that CCs, because they are still ahead of level. And after the root coming onto Tigers, that was dangerous.
Well, he's not here for the fight now. He's not in range for the tether for the flight. Void Prison is used. You see the big silence coming down onto Tyrael. Tempest pops out of the Void Prison. These Divine Shield is used onto Diong, unfortunately, not onto Zeratul, which is where he wanted to do it. Maybe a misclick there, but it's going to cost them big. Sanctification used now on the retreat. That's a long cooldown. 100 more seconds till that's available. And Volstad just split soaks mid. Darvish actually low on health throughout that too because he ate the keep wall shots when he was pushing bot, perhaps just to eat some ammo. But anyway, because he did not join the fight. They were outnumbered. The Void was mistimed and the Divine Shield was on the wrong target. This is a Punisher now, a Frozen Punisher. Or actually it's a Mortar Punisher for Tempest.
Volstad got caught trying to outsoak on the bottom. I guess Dahaka and Arthas had the CCs to cut Volstad off of there. And this Punisher can actually bring the key because no Volstad, no Void Prison for defensive usage. All the heroics on cooldown for another 30 seconds plus here.
Well, this is going to be a defended keep, but this gives Tempest back up to level 16. They're going to be around the exact same time as Raven, despite being behind on EXP for the majority of this game. That was the fight they needed to bring it back, to take a lead once again. With this keep wall, or sorry, fort wall, they will get the 16 first. H82 is going to go split soak bot. Just wait for the minion wave. So he can use his Dark Swarm here to take out the healing well.
Now they've caught up the level from team fighting, which Raven should should be really not trying to teamfight because they know the sustained healing coming out from Ariel, and Vala's ability to teamfight is just so strong on the Shrine. Or they also have so much CCs on, and here's another kill onto Tyrael.
Darvish.
I guess he was also silenced. He couldn't really escape from there.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Darvish has been caught a few times on a few shaky rotations, bad pathing mistakes. So that's going to be a stolen cap. They can now take the neutral cap, invade that, then rotate back to their own cap. Daka looks to try to save the top fort, but I think he might be a bit too late. Yep, it goes down. So that's one nice thing for Raven here. They got that extra EXP, so they're still staying even in terms of experience. So they're dealing with the mid push. Falstad is there. Darvish to clear up the Impaler cap. See if Tempest wants to rotate back to get their own cap or just push with this one. Looks like they might want to look for a gank. Taking away all the hope there with that one move of Harass. Always good to see. Hamlin's been the MVP of this game for Raven for sure.
Yeah, Hamlin making the right moves, and his Void Prison has been pretty good when it comes to teamfight. He has been limiting at least 2 every single time. And I think it's more of the teamwork coming out from the other members. Sometimes Divine Shield missing, Sanctification used a little bit late, or just not dropped at all. And getting, of course, getting picked off in even before the team fight seems to be one of the biggest problems right now for Raven. The map reading or the shot calling seems to be a little bit off, and Tempest knowing that, just punishing them hard whenever they go alone. Have the Haka for the grab, Arthas for the root. Even silence is coming out now. Tyrael can't even really press on that R button when he's silenced.
Well, this is one of the 2 shrine locations that would have been bad for Raven because this one basically goes directly to the keep wall. The top one would have gone directly to the keep. Mid is the one they wanted just in case they lose it. But we're going to see the big commitment in here. H82 comes in, no longer going to be split soaking. They have the top cap that's going to pressure the keep eventually. While this fight goes on, Void Prison gets the double here, including Ariel. They needed to get the Honkono down during this time, during this window. He hits a great rain, but they will get the kill. Here's the gust away. Nicely done. That's how you use a Void Prison. Pull the Ariel away. Take away the production of Vala. She goes down, which is part of the reason why we don't normally see Vala in comps like this with the solo support. When Ariel's removed like this, you win the team fight. Raven gets exactly what they wanted.
That is the perfect team fight they want. See how Hamlin just comes around from the side, Void 2 every single time. And without that, Raven has a hard time, and when they get a pick, when they think they have the advantage, they use the gust to make everyone disengage at this perfect timing.
Sign way overextending here too. We'll see if the Uther Sun goes off. Doesn't quite get it. Could have gotten the double stun with Benediction, so really close call. This is an Arcane Punisher too. This could definitely do some serious damage to the keep. Honkono's not up for 6 more seconds. We see that Falstad is dealing with the pressure. No damage to the top keep from that camp, and he's trying to soak for 20 as they do this. Can fly it at any time. Gust up in 2 seconds. See, Dahaka's actually hiding to try to punish the retreat.
Yeah, I saw that on the minimap too. Dahaka's trying to look for his angle to come in from the side.
Kono's already super low though, he goes down. Perhaps he waited too long.
Sanctification dropped already a little bit too early. Maybe they can core from here. Let's see. Dahaka comes in from behind. Sign gets very low but does survive.
Well, they dove deep, but they didn't actually kill the keep yet. So couldn't actually core at that moment in time, but lack of DPS here from Honkono is going to be a big problem. They can still try to core from this. They have Gust. They have the Void Prison, they have 20. It's going to be X's Frenzy's coming out here for Falstad. Doesn't take the Epic Mallet, he wants the extra damage right now. They want to end this game. Void Prison already removes 2. Deyoung, insanely low. There's the Gust to move Ariel out of the fight. Honkono hasn't respawned yet. Deyoung's going to be the first to die, but NMX is doing so much damage. He's rooted now, not hitting the core. 40% on that core right now. Another pick here. Will this be enough? H82, very, very low. Hamlin dives onto the core.
5%, big red button. That's 0 game going to Raven.
They take game number 3. They keep their hopes alive in this series. Morale was low going into game 3. They had a draft that was better, I feel, overall than the draft of Tempest. They had a standard draft, they had the globals. The play of Hamlin, though, the Void Prisons, the constant harass, punishing Honkono's positioning, punishing Hyde's positioning. These are the ways they won that game number 3. And Hamlin deserves a medal for that game. Don't care if they lose the next one.